Hi everyone. So today for Mandala Corner, I thought we might do something in this book, Large Mandalas. It has a very good paper, so I want to try something basically. That's what I'm saying. I want to try something. So I'm just looking whether there is no, the one I picked, I can't see it here. Maybe I just can't see it. So I thought we do this one because I don't know, it's a bit springy. So I'm going to use ARRTX pencils. So I've got my ARRTX pencils chosen for this particular page in here. I don't have ARRTX black because in my set I've got the 72 set that I used quite a few times. As you can see, they well used. I don't have the black for ARRTX because core was completely shattered, so it was unusable. So I'm going to be using black from my black edition Faber-Castell pencils, simply because I don't have ARRTX black. And I'll be using my little Staedtler sharpener because my Derwent sharpener, this is the one that I use normally, but I'm not going to use it because it makes really deep bite marks in the ARRTX pencils. They are so soft, the outer layer, the paint and the wood is so soft that it leaves like really deep marks and basically strips all of it. So unfortunately, oh, I made a mess from my sharpener. Yeah, so unfortunately they not gonna be with a long sharp point as I normally like, but well, we're gonna make do with what we've got. So the list of pencils, the colors, I will put in a description box, and let's just see what we can do in here. So I think I'm going to start with this one, which is light yellow. I'm just wondering if I need an even lighter yellow, but no, it's not gonna be like a very, I'm not gonna make it a very realistic. Just a little bit inspiration from real life, but I don't want to make it totally realistic. It's just for fun, really. So we're going to put a very light layer of this, what is it? Light yellow. I like to build my colors, so I normally start with the lightest and build up to the darkest. That might not be your preferred way to do it. I know a lot of people starts with the darkest, but yeah, I prefer to do it this way. So yeah, if you kind of want to more or less follow, then start with the darkest. It's a really nice shade of yellow as well, as you can see. And we're going to do this part of a wing, inside wing as well. And I think that's it. Okay, so the slightly darker yellow I have is Canary yellow, so I'm going to use this one on the kind of outer side in here. I wanted to say outer side of bird. Well, I don't know if it is, all of it is outer side of bird, I would think. I've got a little bit like yellowish green as well to use on the little bird, but I think just in some places. This paper really takes the pencils well. There'll be bits of video that I'll just probably put a little bit of music in because I'm not really a talker, you know. I don't want to bore you to death by silence, so we're just going to put some music in. I actually think I made a little bit of mistake because that's not a bird, that's not part of a bird, that's part of a mandala. I mean, it's not a big deal because we are going to color over it anyway, but let's see if we can erase a little bit. I never erase things normally, just color over. All right, so now we have the actual part of the little bird. So I'm using, for the feathers in the wing, I'm using warm grey, so 20%, 50 and 70. I think those are all warm greys in the 72 set. At least that's the ones that I've got. So yeah, I put a slight little very thin layer of the, what did I say, was 20% grey, and then shade with the 50 on top of it lightly on the kind of that bottom edge of the feather, where I would imagine more shadow would be. Again, I'm not pressing hard, just a very light layers. Then I'll take the darkest grey and deepen the shadow at the bottom edge a bit more. Again with light layers, because I find it easier to add layers and saturation than take away. I mean, I had to erase because I made a mistake. I thought that's still the part of bird's head. It's not. So I erased, but that's first time I erased anything in years. I don't normally erase. I just live with my mistakes. Color over them normally. Okay, I will do a little bit of kind of strokes like this to make the more smoother blend on the edge. Take the 50% again to do the transition between the darkest grey and the lighter. And we'll blend with the lightest grey. I'm still not pressing hard, just because I don't need to. I just want to cover the surface of where the lighter kind of color is. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do the rest of the feathers, and I will see you in a minute once this is done, because otherwise it will be very boring for you to watch. Okay, so we've got our feathers done. So I am just going to use a little bit of black in here. And a little bit of warm grey. Okay, and maybe just here a little bit, make it slightly darker. This pencil is so much harder than the ARRTX, and I have to say I get on much better with harder pencils. So just to avoid any comments that I'm bound to get, I'm not saying the harder pencils are better than softer pencils, because inevitably people get offended on behalf of certain pencil brand. I just prefer harder pencils, generally, all of them. So I'm not saying that any particular brand is better than the other. They're not. It's just really your preference. So I know a lot of you like soft pencils, but I prefer harder. I just feel like I've got better control over them. So yeah. Okay. Yep, I'm happy with that. So maybe now we can quickly do the tail. So I'm going to do it in a similar way, but I think I'm going to add a little bit of blue. All right, now I'm gonna leave those bits on the bird because I'm going to do them later. And now we're going to do a little bit of experiment. So I've got some watercolor in here. I'm going to use this Supervision Mermaid Coast, and I'm going to use 313. So this is granulating watercolor, and it has gold in it. I don't think, because this is not really, it's great paper, but I don't think that's a watercolor paper. I don't think it will granulate terribly well, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna try, see the effect it gives. I only want to do like really watered down . Watercolor like this. I don't want to put a saturated layer. Something like this. I don't know how that's gonna look like, but you know what? Still gonna be fun. It's gonna have a very messy look, but that's the fun. I think this is a little bit more saturated. We need more water. That looks cool. I don't know. What you think? That looks very cool, actually. I like it. This is gonna be so much fun. And a little bit more here. I'm not sure if the gold will be showing, but that's fine because we are going to add gold once this obviously once this dries. Okay. Oh, that looks actually really good. I like messy pages sometimes, you know. Don't do them often enough, but I do like them. All right, so now we're gonna give it a minute to dry and we will continue. Okay, so our watercolor dried. Can you see? I don't know. Can you see the gold flakes? I'm not sure. I can see them in real life. They are like, let me see, gold particles. Here we go. Now you can see. Okay, so very pretty. Now what we're going to do, I think, is we're gonna use gold gel pen. I've got just random gold gel pen. This is, what is this? I've got several. So this is, I've got no idea what this is. Hybrid gel pen. I think it's Pentel, but it actually doesn't say. I think it's Pentel. Pentel Metallic Hybrid Gel Grip DX, whatever that is. Grip DX then. And I think what I'm going to do is do these little bits that I left precisely for this reason, to make them gold. So our bird will be finished in a second, and then we're going to take care of mandala. I really like this watercolor. It's beautifully messy. Okay, is that all? I think it is. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to fill in the spaces in the mandala. Instead, I am going to, which is going to take forever probably, so I'm going to outline all these black lines in mandala. I'm going to make gold, and we're going to see how that looks like. So I'm going to do a little bit on screen, and because it's going to take too long to do it on camera, I am going to finish it in my own time and just show you the end result. I think it's going to look amazing once this is finished in all gold. Those thinner line a bit tricky because this gel pen is quite thick, as in the tip. I think it's 1 mil tip, so it's good for the thicker lines, but not so much for the delicate lines like in here. But that's fine. We're gonna make do. I've got a gel pen that has a thinner tip, but the gold, the tone of gold is definitely different. It's more green gold, and this is very, very yellow gold. So I don't think it would match, and I don't think it would look good. So I am going to do all of it in this, with this pen, because I really want it to be the same color tone. I don't think it would make sense to do a different kind of tone. It would look rather funny, not in a good way. I don't mind funny, but that would be funny, not in a good way. Okay, let's do a little bit more. Oops. I don't want a lot of these black lines showing. To make sure that I cover most of it. There's always going to be something showing a little bit, but as long as it's not a lot. Okay, now for the thin line, that's going to be a bit tricky. Oh, it looks okay actually. You won't be able to see the difference in, you know, like right now you can see the difference. Some lines are kind of bolder than others more delicate. Once I'm done with it, you won't be probably able to have the lines like different thickness, but I think it's still going to look great. Just going to do this little section with you here, and then I finish it off camera because it just would be really boring and unnecessarily long video, which would be like uploading for days this bit. I use a lot of gold gel pen and a gold watercolor. I don't know, I just find, and you know, in real life, actually, like, I don't have anything gold. I don't wear gold jewelry. I don't like gold jewelry. I prefer silver. Or if it's gold, then it would have to be white gold, because basically it looks like silver. I do have some white gold and silver jewelry. But I love gold in coloring books, and I use it a lot. Funny that, isn't it? Okay, so this is how it's gonna look like. I think it's gonna be awesome. So I'm going to finish this off camera, and we'll come back for any finishing touches, if there are any. We'll see. See you in a bit. Okay, so this is how it looks all done and finished, and I love it. So we ended up with limited color palette because it's predominantly blue and yellow and gold. There is, I mean, I can see those little particles in a watercolor a little bit. It's very subtle, which is great. I prefer it. I smeared a little bit of a gel pen because I touched it when it wasn't still dry, so that's unfortunate, but you know, it's fine. Yeah, I love it. I love the effect of the watercolor. And yeah, it was a lot of work to outline the whole mandala in gold, but I think it works really well. What do you think? I love it. All right, if you enjoy it, well, that's great. Thank you for watching, and I will see you shortly. Bye.